Hey there, MJ traders and investors. It's Rod with Powell Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It is Monday, May 17th, and in today's MJ Sector review, we're going to be discussing HEXO Corp and the news that came out today about them acquiring 48 North and what this means for HEXO and 48 North. Going to do a quick video and going to focus primarily on this topic. So we'll look at the Canadian and the US sectors, and we'll look at some news and events on the day today. But going to focus primarily on this, as we had a ton of people asking just, why would HEXO buy 48 North and what are some of the benefits that go along with that. So before we jump in, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. So HEXO entered into a definitive arrangement agreement today where they will acquire, by way of court-approved plan of arrangement under the Canada Business Corporations Act, all of 48 North's issued and outstanding common shares in an all-share transaction valued at approximately $50 million. And again, they're not dipping into their cash, so this is an all-stock deal. It is going to be a small amount of dilution, but essentially you're looking at about 5% dilution for about 20% increase in sales. So it's a good trade-off in my opinion, and shout out to Patrick and our group for sharing that this morning. But I also highlighted some options, some potential benefits, from this transaction. So one of the things that I mentioned this morning was that it allows them to enter into the organic and craft industry and that segment. So I've been saying for a while, I wonder when, that was one of the questions I actually asked management on one of their conferences, and they said that they were getting into the craft space, and this was obviously part of their plan. And also they were looking, and I found it odd that they didn't have any topicals or anything like that. And I'll share with you here in just a moment some information about 48 North, but essentially they have topicals and other products that are in the cosmetic industry. So I found that extremely smart on behalf of HEXO, because they, instead of doing all the R&D and getting that ball rolling themselves, they also needed production capacity. So now they're going to be able to leverage facilities of 48 North. They're also going to be able to get access to those different product formats such as topicals. And again, it's all just a win-win. It's going to allow them to increase their market penetration, so they'll continue to get market share. And there's also some synergies that the companies will share as well as part of this merger and acquisition, which I'll share in just a moment. And SSL, Sebastian St. Louis, actually took the time to go on and do an interview with MJ Biz Daily. So we'll look at that in just a second. But as we continue down our path towards achieving a top 2 position in Canada by adult use sales, we are looking forward to welcoming the 48 North team into the HEXO family, said the Sebastian St. Louis CEO. 48 North's innovative product portfolio complements HEXO's existing brands, which combined with their additional market penetration will further strengthen the position in the Canadian market. We expect the deal could offer up to $12 million worth of accretive synergies within 1 year following the close, and ideally position HEXO to continue executing on our domestic and international growth strategy. 48 North has always been a brand-led, consumer-centric licensed MJ producer with a mission to provide an expansive portfolio of high-quality, accessibly priced products across the country, said the CEO of 48 North, Charles Bennett. Like HEXO, 48 North believes that the combination should deliver meaningful synergies, and goes on to say that he agrees with that as well. So transaction highlights strengthens HEXO's position as a leader in the Canadian adult use recreational market, diversifies product portfolio, including topicals, bath, and intimacy products, which we know HEXO is big on consumer experience, and that seems to be right in line with what they're trying to achieve here as well. Offers accretive synergies, like we mentioned, up to about $12 million within the first year of closing, and provides 48 North shareholders with access to participate in HEXO's future. So that's been something that we've seen for a while now. There's a lot of speculation saying that 48 North was a buyout target for a while, and it may have even saved them from going down the drain, so to speak. And who knows, maybe 48 North was a little bit more troubled than we know about. But in any case, I think it's a good deal for HEXO. Like I said, paying about 5% dilution for an extra 20% in sales, and there's a lot of other synergies and benefits that we'll discuss here momentarily. But if you also remember the Zenabis acquisition, that was another thing mentioned in there as well, that it would allow Zenabis shareholders to participate in HEXO's future. So that tells me that Zenabis and 48 North are extremely bullish on HEXO. And like HEXO's CEO Sebastian said on one of the interviews, I can't remember which conference it was in, but I think it was the Global Alliance Conference. But basically, there was a bunch of different Neptune CEOs on there, the interim CEO of Organogram, and SSL basically said jokingly, let's compare financials one day over a Molo. So, which I thought that line was pretty awesome. So obviously 48North CEO and the CEO of Zenabis sat down with Sebastian and they discussed financials over a Molo, and it went fairly good, apparently. So under the terms of the arrangement, 48North shareholders will receive 0.02366 of HEXO common share in exchange for each 48North common share. So if you take a look at the discount today, it was essentially non-existent. So we did have a discount that kind of came to light as the day went on, as the prices, 48North shares dropped. And generally, we see the acquirer, like HEXO in this example, usually we see their price drop and we see the acquiree. So in this case, 48North, generally their share price shoots up. But in this instance, I think because HEXO got a really good deal, there wasn't a very large premium to be paid. Approximately 20% based on the 10-day volume weighted average was that premium. So not a whole lot of, we've seen some premiums be 50, 60%. So I think that was sort of the reason why that we didn't see a big move in 48North today. So again, you can check out this full article in its entirety if you want to learn more about all of that. If you're interested, go give that a read. But I did want to highlight, shout out to QC in our group for sharing this. So Hemp Fusion is set to buy topical CBD manufacturer Apothecana for $15 million. And they are a leading health and wellness company offering premium probiotic supplements and products containing CBD. Is pleased to announce they entered into a purchase agreement as defined below to acquire 100% interest in APCNA Holdings Apothecana. Established in 2009, Apothecana pioneered MJ-powered body care and topicals and was the first topicals brand to expand nationally and obtain a federal trademark. Focused on the premium recovery, pharmacy, and spa segments, Apothecana has established itself as a leader in the development of innovative, all-natural CBD products. And then if we take a look here, 48North MJ Corp launches first MJ topical brand in Ontario, is pleased to announce that it has shipped its first order of topical brand Apothecana to the Ontario MJ store for retail sale. As a result, Apothecana will be the first legal topical brand available to Ontario consumers. And it was also stated that that was like the best product in Canada. So 48North also launches Latitude, a brand with products ranging from sexual wellness to beauty and beyond. So this is something that was shared by Monique online and social media. So shout out to Monique for sharing that to me. But a vertically integrated MJ company focused on manufacturing high quality products, building a progressive and thought-provoking brands and low-cost cultivation. So just keep this in mind. Bearing all of that in mind, there was an article here from MJ Biz Canada. So why HEXO is buying 48North MJ Corp for $50 million, and it was a Q&A with Sebastian. So they are buying in an all-stock deal valued at $50 million. The planned acquisition comes on the heels, so they're also closing the Zenabis deal. So luckily, they're not going to overlap too much because Zenabis is due to close on June 1st, and we should find out whether or not the BC court approves that tomorrow, I believe, but maybe on Wednesday. But it's set to close here in about 2 weeks, so it won't be too bad. So just last week, they agreed to buy a 50,000 square foot MJ production facility in northern Colorado, making a step forward for Canadian producers' U.S. ambitions. Terms of the deal were not disclosed. As for why 48North and why now, HEXO CEO Sebastian St. Louis said the deal is about competing in Canada's super premium flower category. So that's been something I've been wondering for a while. That was one of my questions, is when is, HEXO, what is HEXO's plans and when are they going to be entering into the craft space and the premium space? We also know that Canopy just purchased Supreme MJ Co, right? So a lot of companies getting into that. We have Broken Coast with Afria and Tilray, so now we have a bit more of a premium selection for HEXO as a result of this merger, and establishes intellectual property for cannabinoid infused cosmetics for U.S. expansion. So again, a lot of different speculation about potential CPG. They keep saying edibles, functional foods, cosmetics, and health and wellness. So imagine if it were a Nestle, for example. That's something I've been using and something I could very well see as a possibility, as Nestle has access to European and the Americas, and they have edibles, and they also have a stake in L'Oreal, which would be a leader in the cosmetic space. So HEXO and 48North share something else in common. Quebec's MJ Wholesaler Société Québécoise du Cannabis, so SQDC, is both companies' largest customer. In fiscal 2020, the SQDC accounted for 33% of 48North's revenue. For HEXO, the SQDC accounted for 70% of gross MJ sales for all of its fiscal 2020. 48North lost $51.3 million in the past 6 quarters. So Sebastian St. Louis talks about why this deal came to fruition and the steps ahead. So what are the key components of the deal? Intellectual property, physical assets. So cosmetics, intellectual property. As we're looking to cosmetics, consumer packaged goods company partner in the US, it is a good platform. The second piece is their premium flower. I see this as an addition to the super premium flower segment for HEXO. Piece continues. Market share and listing is the third reason. They punch above their weight in core listings in Ontario. Ontario, the wholesaler, has 100 core products, and every licensed producer is fighting over those SKUs. The great thing that 48 did is they got more of those listings than their market share would suggest. So it's about distribution as well. So 48North has had some tough quarters recently, reporting losses. In 2020, the company lost CA 10. Just lost my spot there. The company lost CA 40 million. That didn't concern you. No, because the time that you take to integrate them, there are meaningful synergies there. A lot of those synergies come out of our Belleville Center of Excellence, HEXO's 900,000 square foot manufacturing center. By moving some of their manufacturing to Belleville, that will create a ton of synergies and cost savings. The deal is expected to see up to 12 million credit of synergies within 12 months following the close, and to achieve positive EBITDA with the combined entity. So Quebec's wholesaler has been 48North's biggest customer. The province is also HEXO's core market. How much is the deal about defending your home turf? They say, no, that's not the idea here. It's a nice add-on, but we're happy to have home turf advantage. It's great to see, but it's not the core reason. So you're not dipping into the healthy cash position. It was an all-stock deal. Is that because you want to leave it for other M&A opportunities? So we can conserve cash by doing an all-stock deal, which is great, but we're not afraid of deploying cash, mind you, if we need to. All things being equal, obviously keeping the powder dry for US is a great thing. Can you talk about integrating 2 acquisitions at the same time? So he just basically goes on to say what I said earlier, that it's not really like they're overlapping too much. It definitely is a challenge, but with Zenabis due to close here in a couple weeks, I can kind of give their M&A team, and they also said that they hired another third party. So we are using Protivity, a global consulting firm specializing in risk, compliance, and business processes, to promote the integration plans, just to mitigate risk and that type of thing, and help with all of that planning. And just wanted to show you the 48North website as well. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you think this should win Website of the Year award, because this is pretty impressive. I haven't seen a website quite advanced as this one, and if you haven't caught my drift, I'm definitely joking. But yeah, maybe they didn't get a good deal, because I made a joke this morning in the group to private members that maybe HEXO took a look at their website and decided to offer them 10% less than the valuation of their company based on how bad that website is. But yeah, just a pretty funny joke that I wanted to share with everybody there. So moving on, also, I've covered this in a couple of videos as well, but with HEXO's new facility in Colorado, we also just found out that MJ sales in the first 3 months, January through March, in Colorado was over 560 million, almost $500 million. Imagine if HEXO could just get a little piece of that pie. That is going to be huge. And what happens? We have to think here, right? We could see the perfect storm into the end of the year. If we see more expansion plans, so if HEXO releases news saying that, oh, we're going to be expanding into New York, as we know that legalization is taking place there as well, and likely going to happen in the beginning of 2022. So we could see HEXO expand into New York and potentially other states. We can see more CPG partners. So if they were to sign a Nestle and a L'Oreal or somebody else, right? That is a huge catalyst. What if we see MJ reform in the United States? What if we see legalization and progress on that into the end of the year? There's so many different factors. We could turn EPS positive. There's just literally about a handful or two, a dozen or half a dozen different catalysts that could literally propel this stock just to absolute new highs. And on the monthly chart, if we can close the month above EMA 26, which is sitting at 712, that's going to be the first time since the all-time highs, and we've got a lack of resistance after 1104. So if we can get over EMA 26, close above it, and then get over 1104, we've got a lack of resistance on that monthly chart. And even on the weekly chart, after 1104, we don't really have much resistance at all until all-time highs. And something that I wanted to share as well that I shared with the group today, I don't use Elliott Wave. I'm not an Elliott Wave expert by any means, but I do use it from time to time, especially when it comes to macro indicators. So if we take a look at the weekly time frame back from the last bull run, you can see here we had an Elliott Wave count. So 1 being our first impulse wave, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 3, and 5 usually being the biggest. And we have a period of consolidation in between. And we had that ABC correction. And here we could be potentially starting that new count, right? Those impulse waves. So this could be our first impulse wave and of the macro picture, and just drew this out to potentially, just to illustrate and just articulate my point here. So if we do see a potential similar pattern, it's possible that we're setting the second wave here now and potentially going into the third impulse wave. And then that would bring us up here around to where we had resistance before, and just using $20 psychological. And then if we were to see the fourth wave pull back to around the $15 area, and then see the fifth impulse wave bring us up to past all-time highs, potentially $40 and beyond, maybe even as high as $50 this cycle, I think that, like I said, with all of those catalysts that I just mentioned, I think that we could be seeing the perfect storm here leading into the end of the year. And I think HEXO is leading the charge there and is set up extremely well. And we also know that Pepsi is looking into hemp rockstar. So they're rolling out hemp rockstar in Germany. We know that Zenabis has a facility in Malta that has EU GMP certification so they can export to the German market. So again, if that's another potential partner as well, doesn't mean that, they may be considering HEXO at the moment, maybe they're not, but it's something that could be considered in the future and that we need to be aware of. And I think this is all part of their master plan. But even if it isn't, even if they have no interest in Pepsi right now, if HEXO hasn't even communicated with them at all, they're definitely set up very well if those communications were to take place into the future. So on the daily time frame, we did break the high of Friday, but we didn't see enough follow through. We only broke it by 2 pennies and ended the day with that same daily inside bar. And the overall broader market today was a daily inside bar. So a lot of our sectors today, the broader market, I didn't do the broader market video, I'll do that one after, but essentially it was daily inside bars, and there was a lack of direction in the broader market. So I think that is why we saw this lack of direction and just slow day across all of our individual names as well. But HEXO still holding up well and holding $6 USD. We're up to 605 here after hours, but we're just looking for that higher low here on the weekly. And if we can break 753, that's going to confirm a weekly uptrend. And then at that point, our monthly consolidation will be over. And then we'll look to close above EMA 26. And then things could get really interesting. So let's bring up the North chart. So North had resistance today, and major resistance at 18.5 and 19 cents. And we broke the high of Friday by ½ cent, but ultimately pulled back at resistance. And we're attempting a daily trend change here as well. Might be a little clearer on the 2-day chart. Yeah, it is. So if you look at the low here at 14 cents, we have the low high up at 18.5. So we're looking for a higher low compared to 14 cents. We get as low as 15. So that would give us our higher low. So if we can hold 15 cents from here and then break above 18.5 cents, that's going to confirm a daily uptrend. And that at that point, our weekly bottom will be set. And we're also set up for a potential weekly trend change here on North as well. So if we can see a weekly trend change on North, on HEXO, on Zenabis, so just take a look at Zenabis, we're also attempting a weekly higher low and higher high. So if we break 15 cents from here on Zenabis will be in a weekly uptrend as well. And it's going to be nice to be able to consolidate Zenabis and North and HEXO all into one chart, because there is quite a bit of names to keep an eye on and stay up to date with lately. And I agree that consolidation in the space is very much needed. So taking a look at the rest of the sector, actually before we do that, I just want to bring up the North weekly chart here. So look where we topped out today, right at the 10-week moving average, which is sitting at 18 cents. The stochastic is crossing bullish. MACD has yet to do so, and if we can close the week above 18 cents, that's going to be extremely bullish on the North chart. And also mentioned resistance at 19 cents, which is the 50 weekly moving average. So if we can close the week above 19 cents, that's going to be extremely bullish as well. But after that, we've got a lack of resistance on North up to 42 cents. So if we can confirm this trend change and get over 18.5 cents and then 19 cents, we got a over 100% increase on the North chart in terms of price. Taking a look at the daily. So we have yet to, and we had a death cross here with the 50 crossing through the 200. That is not what you want to see. But it's already crossed, and we've already seen some consolidation. So the question remains now is, was that our consolidation, or are we going to be heading down to our recent lows here at 14 cents and possibly a test of 10 cents? That's not what we want to see. We don't want to see the shorter term time frames crossing through the longer term time frames. We want to see here with a golden cross, and this would you would call a death cross, right? When we see the 50 come down crossing through the 200, if it's coming up from below, that is generally when you see the shorter term time frames come up below and cross above the longer term, that is bullish. And then on the reverse, that is bearish. So that's pretty much all I had for North at the moment. Taking a look at the bull and bear list, NSP, NRTH, so North, RIV. And Tilray, High Tide, and Sundial led the bull list today. Tilray getting its daily bounce underway. But again, EMAs are going to be the level to get over here. And taking a look at some of our other names, so CGC, yet to test its EMA 12, Cron, still yet to test its as well. ACB just getting slammed here after that terrible earnings reaction. Oh man, it's just an absolute train wreck. And taking a look at Sundial. So Sundial broke the high of yesterday as well, and we're right at EMA 12. So again, the more names that can get over their EMAs, the better. And a lot of names coming off daily oversold. Tilray starting its daily oversold bounce. And just want to bring up VFF as well. So we were down over 3% today on VFF. Looks like it's a potential daily bear flag. And yet to test EMA 12, but daily bounce underway, and that's coming off oversold as well. So we'll see if the whole sector, it's really going to depend on the S&P 500 as well. We'll see which way the S&P 500 breaks out of its inside bar tomorrow. On the US side, we had FLGC, Ian, and BioHarvest leading the decline on the bull list. We had BEV, VREO, and TAT. And take a look at BAM. So BAM was down 1%. BMMJ, though, was up 6%, so that's notable. But BAM got as high as 52 cents today, so started the daily bounce. We had support at 40, we got as low as 43 on Friday, and we had a high of 52 cents today, but pulled back, closed near the low of the day, or at the low of the day, so that is not looking good. But key support's going to be 43 and then 40. And taking a look at MSOS. So broke the high of Friday. So again, daily bounce underway, but topping out at EMA 12. And on the weekly chart, it's a weekly inside bar. And we could be set up for a potential weekly trend change here as well. So if we can break 44.14 from here, that's going to confirm a weekly uptrend on MSOS. And that would indicate the end of monthly consolidation. And it's a monthly inside bar still on watch as well. So whichever way that breaks, we're going to see the end of monthly consolidation, or we'll see continuation. And again, the more names that confirm weekly uptrends, and daily uptrends, the better. So going to end it there. Thanks so much for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth Forward MJ Sector Review. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow and a little bit later on after. I'm going to do a daily market recap video as well, but we'll see you tomorrow after market close for another MJ Sector Review. And let me know in the comments below, did you purchase any North or HEXO today? Are you bullish or bearish on this merger? And were you confused? I know a lot of people didn't really understand what HEXO saw in 48 North. So let me know if this video helped you in understand the benefits of that and why HEXO was looking at 48 North in the first place. So thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. It always shows me some support, and we'll see you again soon.